Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. In this two-part series, we are going to practice major scales but with a twist. We are going to do it alongside a variety of chords, a variety of types of chords or concepts of chords or qualities of chords, if you will, across the degrees of each swara or each interval of the scale. And throughout the lesson, it's just going to be ta da 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 sa ni da pa ma ga re sa do re mi fa sol la ti do. It's just gonna be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 degree and then 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 scale degree. And the aim is to keep the notes of the scale either at the top end or at the bottom end. So what you heard me singing was pretty much the scale degrees going ascending and descending, and the piano was catching on to it by going but not with the exact fingering as you would normally play F major with. But you kind of have to do a finger budgeting, in the sense you'll just have the ring finger and the pinky to do this drill, because the remaining fingers are going to play chords. So it could be it could be a variety of notes. It could be a 4-note chord or a 2-note chord or a triad, diatonic, chromatic, diminished chords, seventh chords, and whatnot. So that's pretty much the reason why we made it a two-part series. So the first part is basically going to be very simple stuff using just triads, using roots and fifths. And when we go into the second part, we are going to do chord extensions, different voicings of chords like quartal voicing, and also dominant sevens, secondary dominance, and diminished chords, and all of the jazz tensions like a sharp 9 or a flat 9 and so on. So it'll be great if you can follow through to part 2 after watching this one. Stay through till the very end of this because it leads in smoothly there, and get your pianos out. For the entirety of this lesson, we'll be focusing on F major scale. However, if you observe our notation, it'll also be notated well on F major as well as G major scale with all the variations. So you might want to get yourselves a copy of the notation, the MIDI files, my own handwritten notes, as well as the original MuseScore file, which is an open source document. You can open it into any MuseScore application for any operating system, and that'll also support the channel for as low as $5 a month. You can consider a subscription accordingly. Right, everyone, it's time to get cracking. So let's look at the F major scale. 1 flat, B flat. So to prepare for the scale exercise, you might want to get acquainted with playing the F major scale with just these two fingers, ring and pinky. You could probably play the pinky for the white notes, ring for the black note, and so on. Maybe the occasional middle finger as well. Okay, just to get used to the fact that you're going to use other fingers to play other notes as you journey up and down, ascending, descending. So the first exercise would be to add on to each scale degree with the root as well as the fifth. Now the order of the root and the fifth would be based on where you are at the moment. So if I have F going on, I already have my root, so I will add another root with the octave and the fifth, and then it's nice to arpeggiate it. So the arpeggio I have for you would be high, low, middle, low. That's what we'll focus on throughout the lesson for the most part. La, la, sa, sa. Now when you go forward, now you could go G, C, F, C, because remember I said any order of root or fifth. So now it's fifth root. I could have also done, but then it'll be a big stretch for my right hand. So sa, re, sa, get used to that. Sa, re. I can keep the same anchor set, Ga, which is A, B flat. Whole thing again. Sa, re, ga, ma, Maybe you want to go up to Ma or up to the 4th degree and come back down. Sa re ga ma ga re sa. Repeat. Sa re ga ma ga re sa. Maybe now go to the Pa or the 5. Sa re ga ma pa. I'll keep this going. 5-1 shape. So I'm calling it a 1-5 shape or a 5-1 shape. Sa re ga ma pa da. Now I go back to my 1-5 shape. Okay. That's 6th, 7th octave. Okay, so pa da pa. You have to do a little jump there. Pa da ni. So you need all your fingers. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Now you're tempted to play an F major. That'll be the next variation. So hang on. Sa. You might want to play it along with me. I'll go very slowly now. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Descend. Sa ni da with that arpeggio. If you're not confident with the arpeggio, you can start off by doing maybe re, just get acquainted with the whole chord. Pa, da, ni, sa. You want to always anchor the 1 and 5. And for those of you who are already confident with chords, inversions and so on, this would be a rather unique challenge to make sure that you pivot 2 notes while exploring the other stuff along the way. So sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, and then so on and so forth. So that was the anchor or the Sapa anchor method. Now moving forward, let's look at triad possibilities. We look at diatonic triads within the key of F major. So what are the triads? There are 3 majors, 3 minors. So the first constraint, and that's basically all that we are going to do now. We are just going to set a constraint for ourselves to practice the scale with. The first constraint would be we are going to use only the major chords available to us in the F major scale. What are the major chords? F major 1, B flat major 4, C major 5. So we use only those, and it's interesting to know that every of the 7 notes that a major scale has will be contained in at least one of the major triads. So if you just break it down, you take the note F. Which chord has F? Well, F major, but also B flat major. What are the major chords of F major again? F major, B flat major, and C major. So at F, you can harmonize it with either F major or even B flat major, because even B flat major has an F. Now coming to G, you have C major. Coming to A, you have F major. Then coming to B flat, well, obviously B flat major. C, obviously C major. D, you'll have B flat major with D as its third. Then E, F. And all I'm doing here is choosing one of the available 3 major chords and choosing it based on the fact that if I am supposed to play F, then I'll find a chord that has F in it. And also, I will invert that chord so that this note, which is my target note, will be played at the upper register, would be played at the soprano, if you want to call it that. So F major is not only going to be played for the F is going to stand out on top in the higher region. So highest frequency. So that's F major, C major with G on the top. That's F major with A on the top, B flat with B on the top, C major with C on the top. However, you could have also done F major with C on the top, then D with basically B flat major with D on the top, E, that's the fifth degree, C major, G, C, E, and then back to F. So it'll end up being either the root position, the first inversion, or the second inversion of whichever chord. So if I go through in the scale, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. It's essentially a scale exercise, but it sounds a lot more thicker with all the chords that are added, and this is a rather important thing to keep in mind as a pianist. If you do note for note, piano tries to have a battle with a saxophonist or a horn player or a flautist, the pianist is always going to lose because you can't do much with a note. It's just ending. So the best way to think about it is how can you thicken the note, and the best way to thicken it would be with harmony. Okay, now coming to the left hand by default could start off by playing the roots of the chord. So F, C, F, B flat, F, basically between F, B flat and C. So you can give that a go. F, C, C major, F major, B flat major, F major, and so on. So but I have to drive my right hand ascending and descending. So I shouldn't get confused with the two hands. The left hand, first exercise, play the roots of each chord, and we'll move on later. So sa re, C in the bass, ga, F in the bass because it's F major, ma, B flat major, B flat in the bass, pa, F major in the bass, dha, B flat in the bass, ni, C in the bass, and F in the bass, and okay, moving forward, you can also play, while you're at it, play the F major scale linearly in the left hand. So and for additional study, do check out the notes in Patreon, where we have it notated for you on G major as well. So with all the inversions, so check that out. Moving on, we have done major chords. Let's also do that pattern, that arpeggio pattern over the major. That sounds nice because it brings out the melody. High, low, middle, low. So HLML. If possible, keep the high held down. Hold the high. Hold the high. Now that's F major. I could also do C major. And descend. Let's do that quick. Let's now harmonize it with the three available minor chords of the F major scale, which are G minor, A minor, D minor. Okay, so again, the odds are 100% for every minor chord, one of the three minor chords, to have one of the seven swaras, or each of the seven swaras would be contained in at least one of the minor chords. So if you take the note F, it's harmonized by a D minor, but you have to invert it. La da da, la da da. Then you take G, G, B flat D, G, B flat D, G. Then you take A minor, C, E, A. Then G minor, D, G, B flat, D, G, B flat. G minor is the only minor which has B flat, right? And then E, A, C, A minor, E, A, C, A minor. Then you have D minor, you could also have played G minor, right? D minor or G minor or A minor, end on D minor, the relative minor. So sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da da. I could even play a G minor. Da pa ma ga re sa. Okay, with the arpeggio. Okay, so the left hand has these two possibilities which I showed you. First off, play the roots. You can also do it as an ascending or descending scale drill. So that'll be so and so on. D minor. Another nice thing to do is to, if you arpeggiate the right hand, also when you arpeggiate in this technique, move the arpeggio up top, and the left hand could perhaps just block the chord. Sounds good. Or you feel it's too high, you can even do the high, low, middle arpeggio. You can even do to the major chords as we saw earlier. That'll be. It's good to work it out in both hands, because in the right hand you might want to improvise a melody or something. So the left hand needs to be equally prepared, you could say. Okay, so this was basically what I had in mind for part 1. Moving forward in part 2, we are going to look at 3 more chord voicing or chord options. One would be quartal voicing, the other would be using chord extensions, basically your add chords, your 7th chords, and suspensions and so on. We'll also be looking at secondary dominant chords, which are dominant 7th chords, not just 7ths, but 7ths with a twist. We'll have some sharp 5s, some flat 9s as well in there. So stay tuned to part 2. It'll be in the description, or you just have to make sure you hit that subscribe, turn on the bell, give the video a like as well. That'll help the video grow, and share it with your friends as well if possible. It'll be great if you can consider helping the channel grow. And there's a Patreon page with all the notation, handwritten notes, and Musco file, MIDI file, and so on. And if you'd like to learn in a very structured manner at Nathaniel School of Music, you can consider going to our website and browsing through, gaining access to some of the free tutorials, and also maybe even reaching out to our course advisor to customize something that works for you best. Right? Thanks a ton for watching the video. Cheers.